everyone. Morning, Daniel. ADMA, it's not ready yet. Let's see. It is extended though, 249s. Let's see, do I have locates on my TD? Okay, I think I do. So 5 minutes at 249. $70 million float, 41% institutional owned for ADMA. So could get tricky. That so far is double top at 263. I think for high institutional owned, the 1 minute signal, like these ones, doesn't happen too great. Yeah, it broke trend. Yeah, you can see the wick there when it broke trend. Yeah, it's gonna be a little harder. See the wick there. Let's see what else is moving. But that was a potential spot if you want to take that risk. It was this 260, maybe 260 break, risking 263s, but just risk higher days. RIBT looks interesting. I could set up a long soon. Oh yeah, yesterday. Just sold off yesterday. VXRT actually looks like a decent long setup. The only problem is yesterday had a big move already, so we might have some overhead longs that it's gonna sell into the pushes, so it might be hard to get a good follow through. But it looks really good. It's holding all the EMAs above VWAP, so if it does like a 139 test, I might take that break of 142, 143. I think it needs to dip one more time. Yeah, like this. And if it holds this higher low, you can see a little triangle forming. If it holds this higher low, I'll probably take that through 142, risking this low here, whatever this low is. It's gonna be like 139, 138. Yeah, Muds is a little tricky too. I took a loss on it yesterday. Let's see what happened. So 15% institutional ownership. Not bad, but alright, so no setup here on RIBT. Unless it reclaims something like this. Envis looks good, decent as well. For a long. Let's see what it sets up though. So right now you have resistance becoming support. See if you can consolidate and hold a few candles above here. And then we might get a long play. Alright, so nice move there. We need to pull back now. Hopefully it doesn't break. Alright, so people are getting a little antsy there, but that was the resistance, became support, held VWAP. I think when people were taking it there at 2260, risking 2290s or 2220s. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of these moves right here, but we're not getting that like little smaller pullback that I want to give my wrist a little tighter. But that's okay. We'll find another spot. Houston. Yeah, Houston looks decent. It needs a bounce. 212 is where where the 5-minute 90 is at. Hey, by the dip, Clove. Yeah, Clove looks decent. I was stalking this in the on the daily. Had a nice curl, kind of little breakout here. It's double top now from last week's high. So that was resistance here at 1057. Pretty much reached at 1059 today. So that became resistance there as a double top. Oh yeah, Clove actually had a nice signal there. After that double top, you got inverted cup and handle. That was a nice spot. Too short. Right here. Bounce off VWAP. Retest breakdown level as resistance, and got the full test of 5-minute. I think RIBT, if this can reclaim VWAP, this will look nice. VWAP is at 139, 140. So if it actually reclaims and hold as support for like 5 minutes, I think this could be a nice long here. It's gonna set an alert at 141, so I don't forget. Or yeah, 142. So I have a price alert here just to remind me. If it comes back. Using ugly wicks from this trend break, 1-minute trend break at wicks, and then yeah, I mean potentially shorts are risking at 237, so SSR is on. I'm not sure if it's true, but looks like it's SSR is on. But it's pretty wicky on the downside. It's probably a lot of dip buyers. Clov looks pretty weak. It's probably gonna go back to 980s. Let's have room to pull back to 1680s. Looks like it's breaking here. Could risk 1620s. Tight risk. I might take a small trade on this. Alright, so I got filled at 300 shares. So it broke down with a wick, so 1680 is target here if it breaks down. $16.86. I'm gonna try to get some fills here. It's a little wicky. So I broke down with a wick, pretty much tested there. I didn't get any fills. Oh yeah, that's a bad wick. I don't like that wick. But it was a nice breakdown. Unfortunately, didn't get any fills. Probably had to cover. Looks like there's a lot of buying strength. So I took it off there with a $30 loss. It broke down, but you can see the huge wick pretty much tested the 5-minute chart, which was the target. Unfortunately, I didn't have orders out, so I didn't get any fills. I was trying to get some fills on the bid, but it's pretty spready. But that's the 5-minute test. I think that's pretty much done. I have to wait a little longer for the 5-minute reversal. MVIS actually broke out. Dang. I was watching this level after this resistance became support on VWAP. Wish it had one more pullback, but lately I've been seeing this trend a lot. Breaking out a little early. I might end up kind of taking these next time. But I had to go smaller size because the risk is a little wide. Like 50-cent risk. ADMA. ADMA is extended on the 5-minute chart. You might get a. So far, I hit a double top. We might get a 5-minute reversal. 15 minutes pretty extended. It needs to bounce though. Very weak so far. Oh yes, lots of weakness. AHT, very small range, but it might get a reversal here. 213 break, you get a 210 target, 23 cents. Yeah, pass. RIPT actually broke down there, didn't give VWAP reclaim there. Yeah, so there's HT. I think we might get a 210. Very small range. Usin higher. The VXRT is pulling back right now. So I have shorts on my TD. $840, so that's room to 840 so it pulls back here. So this high is 874. So I might take a 864 break on VXRT. Hopefully, okay, it looks like it's pretty weak. I'm gonna wait until the 5-minute close. Okay, so it looks like it broke there. I didn't take it. Yeah, it looks, I don't know, looks a little hard to read. It's not going like down smooth or holding smoothly, but broke a little too early there. I wanted to close a green candle there, but it looks alright. Stop at 874 if you took that. Using higher, squeezing shorts, 1.5 million shares on that green candle. Congrats. Congrats for what? Did I miss something? So let's see if Houston gives us a bounce here. This is the 1 minute bounce. So 243. 5 minute 90 minutes at 229s. So 250 is these highs. So I'm gonna try to short 243 break. I'm not sure if SSR is on, but my indicator says it's on, but I'm not sure. Alright, so that dip was a little too high. Or I mean not dip, but this push is a little too high. So it might not be ready. VXRT hasn't fully tested the 5 minute yet. Alright, so if it breaks down here, $264 again. I'll take this with a stop at 270, 273s. If it breaks down here. So I grabbed some there, 266. So I'm at 1,000 shares. With a 865 average. But if it holds here, I'm probably gonna take it off. I'm gonna add more, 1,500 shares now. So if it breaks down 258, we might see that 5 minute test. $245. Alright, so it needs to break through 858. So it needs to break in about a minute or two. Alright, come on, let's get through the 258 there, or 858. I'm just holding, see if I can get that 58 break. If it actually holds here, I might have to downsize. So the longer it consolidates here, it's going to be more bullish, and it might break this flag, which might go back to like 260 something. Alright, so there's a 258 break. So I filled 500 shares there, 255. Trying to get 253s, the next ones, or 252s. And then I'll get the rest at 247s or so. Alright, so my 252 fills there. It is down to 500 shares. Final target is the 5-minute EMA, which is at 248 or so. It's pretty extended on this move on the 1-minute chart, so I might see a bounce. I think it would definitely bounce on this 5-minute chart. Hopefully it tests the 5-minute before the last 5-minute close. Alright, so it filled me there at 250s, 200 shares. I have one at 240, 200 at 248 as well. Alright, so it filled me there. And it's gonna take it off there. So I'm pretty happy with that trade. $187 win there. So this was the 1-minute reversal, inverted cup and handle. Right there. So I took that break. So typically, if it's wide, so if you draw a flat cup and handle, inverted cup and handle, then your cup is up here, which is a little wide. Like in terms of risk, like if you're taking a short here, stopping here, it's a little wide. So what I look for, it's a trend line cup and handle. So it's like a sideways cup and handle, like this. And what you can do is you can enter on that trend line break, risking here. So now you can see it's a tighter risk. So now you're risking these right here compared to here as before. And sometimes you'll get a better trade from that, just because you have a tighter stop here compared to here. But the thing is, if it breaks down this, it needs to continue to break down through the flat cup and handle, inverted cup and handle. Also, you can still get a bounce there and then like trend higher and might hit your stop. But nice trade there, bouncing off the 5-minute 9 EMA as expected. But all out there. Hey sir, how do I typically check for institutional? Usually I check. Hey Daniel, let me check the Houston. Yeah, Houston looks extended. I think we might see another leg up here. Just gonna wait for it. You can check it on Finviz. So Finviz is a good tool. So I just type in Finviz on the type the ticker in Finviz, and you can see institutional ownership, as well as like short float and things like that. So that's a lot of information there and pretty quick. You don't have to dig through a lot of things. Yeah, Houston, keep this on watch. It's getting extended on the 1 minute chart. We're just gonna wait till a signal to form. 244 is where the 5 minute 90 minutes at. Yeah, for Cider, to answer your question, do I look at like perspective of difficulty? That as well. Like when you're reading the level 2, some stocks, it tends to move really weirdly, and that means it's high institutional own. Or you might see a lot of bid and ask, and it doesn't move freely. And sometimes another thing you can notice is like on the time it sells, you might not get any transactions, but the bid and ask like shift up, but there's no transaction going through. So it's just telling me that there's a lot of algos putting prices at bid and ask, and then it just automatically change those bid and ask to a higher price. And it's hard to trade because you have algos trading, and then just robots just controlling the order flow of bid and ask. And if you're like a small trader, they might just like take you, like stop you out and stuff. Like they control the bid and ask pretty easily because they own like 80% of the shares or whatever, if it's high institutional ownership. So that's why I try to avoid those high institutional ownership. You're playing with algos. HT looks a little bit extended, but the range is pretty small. So Houston broke the trend line. $261 would be the cup line. 246 target on the 5 minute chart. Cup line 261. So let's see if we get maybe a minute or two bounce, and then we can get that inverted cup and handle. Or not. But yeah, sometimes it's like these wicks that's the handle, so it's a little harder. But I don't really trust that move sometimes because it's a little bit extended and you might just get wicks. Yeah, so Clov actually broke out. It reclaimed VWAP. We missed it, but that was a nice little VWAP reclaim there. So you can see VWAP support became VWAP resistance, and then VWAP support again. You can draw the flag line. You can see that it gets a head and shoulders or a cup and handle right here. This is a cup and handle. If you're looking at like here, this is like a head and shoulders. So it's a nice little breakout there. Missed it. I was thinking about a long trade too after it reclaims VWAP. I had tested the 15-minute chart, so it looks pretty clean. So this was a potential buy signal here at 10:30, stopping at 18, 17 or so. So it's a pretty nice 12-cent risk there, and you can get like 1 risk, 2 risk, 2R there, and potentially 3R. Broke high of days. But we missed a trade, so definitely not a long trade here. I don't know, AHT looks very tempting to short. The last time it broke down, it got a wick, so have to be careful. Alright, so I'll take this through 226. Okay, let's see. So it needs to break 226. Yeah, definitely trading B-Stiff. It has a lot to do about experience. So anyone can get into the market, but it's you don't learn it anywhere, right? So people just throw their money around and see what's moving. So I'm gonna try to take this 226 here. I went a little too early, but 226 hasn't broken yet. I'm taking a short. Stop at 230s. So I'm at 2,000, short of 2,000 shares here. My target is 220s, 219 on this short. So I took this inverted cup and handle trend line. Target is the 5-minute 90-minute 220s. So let's see if I can get that. So the next level to break is 224. So if it reclaims 226, I'm gonna downsize a bit. Right now, with my 2,000 shares, if I take a full stop at 230, it's gonna be a $100 loss. But I'm gonna wait patiently for at least like a 220 as my final target. But I will be taking partial targets around 223, 222s. It's a really tight range, so I just have a few orders out scattered here. A penny each, 500 shares on a penny each. If it goes to 222s, 223, 222s, 221, 220, and that should be the 5-minute target. So let's see what happens here. If it ends up bouncing a little bit and then creating a smaller like inverted cup and handle here, but it does need to top off at 226 though. If it breaks above 226, I'm gonna have to downsize. Alright, so it's attempting to break that. Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier on the other trade, it's a good spot to take a trade here, but it does need to continue and break through this flat cup line. Sometimes it end up happening is you get a higher low and then it goes higher, so you need to be kind of wary of that. So this is like the expected scenario, the other scenario. Let's see if it can top off as this 228, which is still a lower high. But if I see it's strong, I might downsize right here. So I took 1,000 shares off there just to downsize, and my full stack would be 230s. Looks like it still has some strength. Alright, so I'm probably gonna take a stop here. 229, took it off there. So that was a $60 loss. So not bad. I think if it hit my target at 220, it would have been a $120 win. So I risked $60 for a potential $120 win. So it's not bad. I mean, just follow my plan. So sometimes it doesn't go your way. All right, so that's AHT. Hey Max. Clove. Yeah, Clove. I was watching this. It had a nice, like I mentioned earlier, it had a nice support here, became resistance, became support, and that's the VWAP area. And then you can draw a flag line. Nice little break there. Went higher. On the daily chart, it looks pretty nice too. Looks like it was gonna launch as well. Nice curl on the daily 9 EMA, held it all week and broke out. Hey Edward. Alright, let's see. Envis also, I was watching here. I was also hoping for a lower high here to form. But like, yeah, looking back at it, I've seen a lot of moves that are just breaking after it confirms that VWAP support. And they just kind of lift off from there. It's a little harder. No, I don't trade the large caps. I can take a look at it. So I guess I had this trend line. It broke out 5 days, pretty much fell there, which triggered a lot of stops. You can see the little inverted cup and handle forming there. Broke down, held the trend line. Yeah, so inverted cup and handle. Due to the high day fail, or all-time high fail, sold back down all the way back down to the trend line. Held trend line, double bottom. Now it's breaking out again. So we might see a retest of that 140 level. I'm a Max. I'm a day trader. So, any thoughts on Spotify? So spot. You're looking for a long term. It looks like a gap down today. Bad earnings. All right. So it looks like it had bad earnings. Yeah, I drew some lines here before as well. Broke out of this. Back here. Yeah, I might have. Yeah, I don't really watch this that often, so I probably drew these lines like probably back here. And then so it's in two channels, right? So you have this channel. And this channel. So you got channel 1 here and channel 2. Traded above channel 1. Now it's broken down to channel 2. So you're gonna have this channel. So depending on what it does here, you might get a big might break down, or it could break up. Right, so far today a gap down, so it's not looking good on the upside. So, but potential there. I think if it breaks 230s, your next channels it's gonna fall back down to like these levels, 150. It's gonna be a wide fall. 263. That's a pretty decent. It's trading at 269 right now. Stocks do tend to fill its gap long term. So today was a huge gap down. So there's some, huge potential there. Right now it's creating this wick on the downside, which is pretty bullish. This is like a hammer. But it has to close like that. Day's still long. Let's see. So using broke higher days. I don't think it's gonna give us a 1 minute signal. So we're gonna wait for a 5 minute reversal. It's gonna take some time though. 15 minutes extended. Oh wow. Looks very heavy. Yeah, Clove looks good. So it had I think Clove looks pretty good. This looks pretty strong. It had resistance at this 1057 level from last week. And then it hit that resistance, tested 15-minute chart, flag, and then now you're breaking out. So it can go pretty. You might have a multi-day runner. So this Fibonacci extension is, so you can go to like $11. You're looking at this distance, 1153s. Yeah, it's probably max. It's probably technicals. It's probably shorts getting squeezed and breakout traders from this 945 level, like 945, 950s, and it was holding the 90 EMA. So you can see it's hugging this 90 EMA trend. It hasn't closed below it, so it's pretty bullish in terms of the daily candles. And it broke above this yesterday and slightly gapped up today. So this is a squeeze day for either shorts that are swinging it on these days, but also as a flag breakout. It's getting extended though, so I might look for a short on it. Fibonacci's, yeah, I don't really use Fibonacci too much on my trading, but yeah, there's Fibonacci's retracements and there's Fibonacci's extensions. I usually just use extensions to identify a target for a stock. Like I can measure this move in CLOV and attach it to this. Usually what I do is I attach the Fibonacci extension from the leg, you know, from the top to bottom, and then I add that to the last pivot, and then you can see it's struggling at the 61.8, which is the golden Fibonacci ratio, 61.8 there. And you can see it's struggling on that 61.8. I mean, you can look at it that way. And then the full measured move for this is like 1116. If you add this to this, that's 100%. You can also, if you're like more a dip buyer, so I just use it mainly for profit. If there's like no levels, I'll use the Fibonacci as like, okay, if I buy this breakout, this could be a potential profit taking at the 61.8% level. Other people will look at it, use Fibonacci as a retracement. So they will use no, kind of lagged out there. Alright, so they'll use it like this, the same way, and then they'll use the either the 38.2% as a dip buy level. So here it's retracing 50% of the move. That's where it bounced off. But some people will use the 38.2. So this pullback here was a 38.2 to dip buy, and then there's a 61.8, which is that golden ratio to dip buy. So some people use it as a retracement to dip buy. Some people use it as an extension to take profits. But normally I just use it for profit taking. I'm using Thinkorswim by TD Ameritrade. So TD Ameritrade is the broker I use. So CLV, I think that was a short signal there on this. That was a short. So potential short there, risking this highs. Potential target is 1045s. So that's the inverted cup and handle. So I mainly look for two patterns when I'm trading. So these are the two patterns that I look for. So I trade both long, which is you buy and then sell high, and then also short, which is you short high and sell buy back low. So I can show you examples of that long setup. So if you look at the long setup, pretty much it happened on CLOV right here. Let me see. So CLOV, that short happened exactly right there, right here. It's pretty much the same. And what you buy the breakout there and you stop here. So I always have a plan when you go in. You buy and you know where to stop, right? You know, as a beginner, it's hard to, you know, take losses, but taking losses is part of risk management. And as long as you're taking small losses, like, you know, this distance, you will be longer in the game. You don't want to like, okay, take loss. Okay, maybe I'll dip buy, maybe I'll dip buy. And then you just kind of average down and you build a bigger position, which means you build a bigger loss. So you have to think about how much you're willing to lose when you enter a trade, not about how much you want to win. Another example of that was, I think, on NVIS. That was looking pretty much here. Same thing, same pattern. Nice breakout there. But yeah, you pretty much have to just look for these patterns, and it's about experience and just screen time. If you're on the screen a lot and looking at candlestick patterns, you'll probably find them. And these are all technical. Yeah, I think, yeah, those Wall Street bet stocks, they're good in terms of, I don't think that, I don't count them as necessary trading. It's just people is buying due to hype in social media. But I would advise, you know, to learn trading on your own if you want to, you know, build a long-term trading. I mean, yeah, GME you can probably get rich fast, but it's not like a consistent thing. And I see people pumping GME and AMC all day, so it's, I don't get the point of that. I mean, I know they have a bias of it being short, it's getting squeezed, but if the technicals aren't there, so GME is actually on a trend line right here, so we might get a squeeze actually in a few days. So AMC did that a few days ago. Here's AMC. You draw this trend line, this point to this point, and then here's the breakout, and then you have that little increase in volume. You can see a little dip, a bigger volume there on this break because of this trend line break. So it's all technicals in the end, because technicals is pretty much supply and demand. I mean, you also have like fundamentals behind it, but technicals is what you're trading supply and demand and why the stock moves the way it moves, because so GME it's on that spot as well. So I can see a GME breaking 200 and maybe next week. Pretty soon, I think it could break 200. At least for a day or two, and then it'll probably drop back down. Clove. Yeah. So in trading, there's extensions. So trading always goes up and down, right? So it's not going to be just straight up. If it does straight up, it's gonna be straight down. But a healthy stock would be go up, straight down, you know, retracing or reverting back to the mean. So here was a spot. I trade both sides, so it's also good to understand, you know, short side and long side, so you know when to take profits. So like if I was long here and this looks like a short signal, I would take profits, you know, here, because that's a short signal. That's where I would short, and maybe others like me will potentially short there. So that's a good spot to take profits. So that's a reversal, and right now it's if you pull up the 15-minute chart, it's extended. So if you add the 9 EMA, 9 exponential moving average to your chart, and then just look at each time frame. You can see here a dip to the 9 EMA bounce. Right now it's extended, it's in mid-air. So my prediction is gonna pull back to 1020s before going higher. So it needs to retest these averages. $10.52. Yeah. I'll be careful. You might get a little bounce though. Daniel, if you look at the 5-minute chart, you didn't really get a. So I see what you did there. So you probably took this candle, but you can see it didn't really give a little inverted cup and handle yet on that break. So it might be a little extended here. So I would look to take profits. I mean, unless you're looking at a bigger picture on the 15-minute chart and just looking for that 1020s. But it's extended on the 5-minute chart, so you might get a bounce. But it looks, if it's getting heavy, yeah, it'll probably just fade back down. Yeah, ideally the 5-minute chart, if it had like one candle where it had the handle, that probably could be a good spot. Yeah, so it broke the 5-minute trend. I think if this candle closed below the 5-minute 9 EMA, I think you're a good spot. If this actually closed above it, you have like a minute left on this candle. So you have a minute left on this candle here, or 30 seconds. If it actually closed like a wick, I would yeah, be careful there. But if it closed above it, like it's happening right now, I would be careful. It's still a bit extended, so you're gonna get that bounce. So it looks like it's gonna close above the 9 EMA and a wick. So yeah, I'll be very careful. You might get another bounce. Oh, MVIS actually had a nice signal here. I think we missed it. That's a nice 1-minute reversal to the 5-minute chart. We could wait until this sets for a 5-minute reversal as well. Something like this, probably in 15 minutes. Cassie. It's a nice spot here, maybe through 187. Oh, it's really tight range though. Probably wouldn't have traded. Thanks for the follow, Milad. Yes, Chi. This looks interesting, but also pretty tight range. Probably gonna avoid it. TIRX. TIRX looks pretty interesting. Can see it's forming the long setup. The only downside is the daily looks pretty nasty. So you might have a lot of so this daily chart, and it looks pretty bad. It went from 100 to 17. So you might have some resistance on the upside. But this look like a pretty decent pattern. $17.17. So just to recap for this morning, I took 3 trades. VXRT short for $187 win, and 2 losses. Muds short, took a small loss there, $30, and AHT short for $60 loss. Bringing me a total this morning for $97. So yeah, just remind yourself that make sure you have a stop loss and your wins is bigger than your loss and your loss is smaller than your wins. And as long as you take good trades, your wins should cover all your losses in the end. Yeah, pretty slow day. So I actually started this account at 30k on this broker, and for the last 6 months I made pretty much like 120% that. Yeah, very, very slow month for me, so very, very, very slow. And it doesn't take much to trade these stocks, day trade stocks. Oh yeah, AHT looks ready. 5-minute reversal. So let's see if it can break down here. I might take this 230, 232 break. All right, I took some there, 1,500 shares. Might be a little too early. It might, yeah. You know what? It ended up might doing a fail flag first, like breaking down here and then going lower. But I went a little early there. I'm gonna stop at 230. Yeah, nice max. So the breakdown here is 231s. So it's attempting to flag right here. If this flag fails, it's gonna give me more confidence to add to this position. So as long as this flag is below this line, I'm okay. So it's 238. All right. So I'm gonna have to take a stop here. Let's see what happens. All right, so it might be a true 5-minute flag break there. All right, so I took a stop there. It was another, how much is that? It was a $90 loss. Yeah. Yeah, went in a little too early. I think it needed a fail flag, so sometimes it's a little tricky for these ones. Sometimes I would like to look at a flag break and then kind of fell and then like a break of this. That would be like the cleanest. But you draw a line here. This was a valid like 5-minute flag, but it's extended on the 15-minute chart. So this is the 5-minute flag, and people 5-minute players are buying this. But it's extended on the 15-minute chart. That's the reason being a short bias.
to ensure that the two of us survive.
Yeah, pretty slow day right now. I think the only thing moving right now is CLOV. It's a daily breakout, so it's gonna be a lot harder to short. Boxel can get interesting here. BOXL. Alright, talking about CLOV. So this was a pattern here. So this pattern here is exactly this pattern. You can line it up, it looks exactly like it, right? Yeah, so this is CLV. That was the best spot. You can see volume picked up there. Boxel broke out a little too early there. I was hoping it can consolidate. Hold VWAP here. I guess I can see people buying from this trendline break. Oh yeah, nice. Yep. Yeah, cool. So I'm waiting for the same pattern to form on Boxl right now. You can see it's starting. You can it's starting the pattern. It's gonna need to hold 278 as support first on Boxl. So we need a pullback. Also, ideally, these pattern success rate works better around like the first 2 hours in the market. Usually around this time and like around lunchtime where people are taking break, you don't have any volume or follow through on these breakouts. So the success rate goes down because people are on break. Also, if this pattern happens after lunch, like the last 2-3 hours of trading, it's also a lot better. So I would take a break on lunch if you're trading on the long side, because really like the lunchtime hours, it's pretty low volume, and you might have algos trading that might pick up on your stops. Negative balance in your trading portfolio, like negative for your swing trades or negative on your day trade. And it's all depend on the stocks you trade. So when you enter, you should have at least an idea where to stop and where to take profit. So when I'm going in, I always have a plan. So like MVIS, here's a long pattern, right? So I will take this break, right? 22. So this break is 22.50s. And then this is my stop, which is 22. We can just call it for simplicity. And that's a 50-cent stop, right? So if you go 100 shares, then that's a $50 loss. So if you're okay with a $50 loss, then you take the trade. So if it does this, it breaks and then fails, you take a stop here, right? That's a $20 loss or $50 loss with 100 shares. And then if it goes higher, you would want to sell, right? You want to sell maybe on a high day, maybe some in 5 days, and then you can sell some up here. And then when it has a reversal signal, you can sell the rest, and then you can wait until it sets up again. Like if you want to dip by here, it held maybe another pattern. It's like a smaller pattern like this, and you buy, and then you could do the same, rinse and repeat. Yeah, for Clove, if you bought early, a nice exit or at least profit taking would be like 1150 area. That's going to be where the Fibonacci extension is, and also where this consolidation happened. But yeah, it used to be 17, so I don't know if it'll get there. Did you get in today? Oh, you probably got in yesterday too. Yeah, I think you're good right now because the daily looks good. Your other exit strategy could be if the candle closes below the 9 EMA. So right now these candles hasn't closed below the 9 EMA, and you might have another candle like this tomorrow, and something like this. And then if it closes below, like it closes below the 9 EMA, then you probably want to stop here, since that's probably bearish and it might go back down to like 10. But it looks pretty strong right now. I can see it go to 1150s today. Actually like 211 maybe. Hourly is extended, so you might get a pullback, but depending on how it reacts, I think it looks pretty strong. So NVIS is attempting don't have shorts. NVIS is attempting a 5-minute break here. If it fails, I'll probably look for a short. So it's a fell flag right here. Probably look for a short on NVIS. So if he gets one more bounce, I have to trade on my trade 0 account. Alright, so I want to see another bounce here. Oh man, Didn't give it bounce. Oh, that sucks. So your success rate in shorting increases when it has a flag and it breaks with some volume and it fails. So you have long players that bought this flag, and because it wasn't successful, those long players are now sellers. So that drives the stock down pretty tremendously and creates it for that a good short play. But normally I would like to see a inverted cup and handle off this fail flag, like this. Right now it's pretty heavy. Looks like it's gonna go down. I grabbed some locates, but didn't set up exactly there how I want it. Yeah, nice max. Yeah, definitely I would take some profits. Depending on how many shares you're holding. At 1140, 50 area. That's like the Fibonacci 100%. Or actually, it's at 1120. So 61.8 was resistance here. 1119, you might 1120 should get something there. Some resistance. So MVIS is getting a bounce here. But yeah, I would like the bounce earlier. This is still, I feel like extended. I'm not gonna take it anymore. Yeah, no problem, Clove. Or no problem, Max. It's not, I was saying Clove. Yeah, I would definitely sell, some here, around here. I don't know how much you have or planning to hold, but it's a good spot. It could pull back to 1060s. And I think it's made a pretty big move today. So this might be the top, and then we might get a reversion back to $10, 1050. So it's a pretty big move today. So Nice. Yeah, it doesn't matter how much shares you have. As long as you kind of manage it the same way. So when you're able to scale up, you do the same process. So I started trading, I used to be like a $50 win and loss average. And then I slowly went to like $100, $200 win loss, and now I'm like $300, $400 win loss. So you kind of slowly build up as you kind of get more confidence in your strategy and in your trading. But yeah, I'll start small so you don't get emotionally. You don't trade emotionally. You want to trade strategically or systemically. So I'm still at the point where if I scale up too much, I get emotional. So I'm trying to scale up slowly where that doesn't affect me as much. But right now I'm almost okay with losing like 300-400. Where I suppose when I was a $50 trader, like average $50 trader, I will get emotional like, oh, 300, 400 wins and losses is gonna be a big thing. But right now it's normal to me, so it's slowly scale up. I think trading is scalable as long as the volume is there. You can scale up. Yeah, so CLV pulling back down. It's pretty much hit that 100%. Yeah, so what you want to see here for CLOV is it's probably going to pull back to 1080s. Yeah, right now it's really extended on the hourly chart. So it could go back to $10, but if it actually holds the 15-minute trend, like if you want to give this room, I'll stop at 1050. But if you want to hold a little longer, then what's gonna happen is probably if it holds the 5-minute trend and then does a higher low like this, it might go higher. But if it bounce off the 5-minute trend and do a inverted cup and handle like this and breaks, it'll go lower to 1060. So yeah, depending on if you want to take your profits early, you can take it at 1080s if it breaks 1080s, or if you want to give it room. It hasn't gone below the gray line, which is the 15-minute right here. So it hasn't gone below this line, right? So if you want to give yourself room, we can stop at 1060. Right, yeah. So either cup and handle to continue higher or inverted cup and handle for the reversal. Right now it looks good. I think it's gonna go higher right now. For the time being. But if it speeds up, if you see it speed up to like 1140 in the next minute or two, I would definitely sell some more. Because if it speeds up, it's gonna crash pretty hard. So right now, you can see a huge volume coming in. I think it'll give us a short later. Definitely still on the front side. So no short yet. So NVIS, I wanted a bounce there. Over here for a short. I grabbed some locates, but like I mentioned, fell flag. If it had a little bounce here, I would take that short any day. Unfortunately, it just like broke down. It had a small bounce here. You could potentially take that. Wow, there you go. Wow, there's a 15-minute test there. Nice reversal from that fell flag. Didn't take it, but that was a pretty instant to the 15-minute chart, bouncing right now with big red candle. Usin looks pretty decent. It's extended on the hourly chart, but it's holding the 15-minute trend right now. What you want to see is it gets over 256 if it wants to go higher. So something like this, pretty much the long play. Like this. If it holds 256 as support, it could look good for a long. Like pop over here, retest 256 as support, and then you have a flag line drawn, and then it could break high of days. The only thing is it's on the hourly chart, but if it's a high float, I think normally it just trends the 15-minute trend. Envis, I think is heading to today. I think it's gonna close. It's probably gonna close around 2250s, 23. That's my prediction. I don't see it going higher yet. If it does go higher, it's gonna be towards the end of the day. Yeah, but I see it going back to 23 at least. So CLOV actually hit that 1120 area. Has a huge candle. So let's see if I can take this short. It's like a topping tail. So if it breaks this line, it's going back to 1080s, 1090s. 1110. Oh crap. Alright, I got a bad fill there. I smacked it a little bit too late. So I got 1097s short. So 1088, it's a target. So we pretty much hit the target there. Yeah, so I wanted to short at 1104, and it went so quickly that I hit the bid when it was at 1097, so I had a bad fill. So I'm gonna see if I can work with this. But max, I think, yeah, that 1120 pretty much hit the 100% Fibonacci extension there. So that was a nice profit area. Yeah, I think it's definitely sell time on Clove if it breaks 1080s. 1080s 85. I would sell. So if it gives a just we're gonna bounce here. So if it tops off at 11 here, I'll add for the 1087 break. So top off at 11 there. I didn't add more yet. Yeah, I wanted to consolidate for another like 2 minutes for the 5 minute to close before breaking down here. So it's a little too early to break down. Yeah, so hit the 5 minute target. Let's see what I'm gonna do. You know what? I'll take 300 shares off. I'll leave 200 shares on. There. Just because I had a bad feel, but on the 5 minute chart, it looks extended. So you look at the 5 minute chart. It had a little doji candle here where it bounced. But I feel like it's gonna have one more decent bounce, like a decent green candle. And then I think after that we can watch for that break there. 1183. The 15 minutes extended. Very nice red candle, up wick on that 15 minute candle. 15 minute close at 1183, the previous close. So let's see if we can consolidate here for a little bit more, and I'll take the 1183 break with a target of 1062. So bouncing here on the 5 minute as expected. Let's see if it has a flag. So that's a huge bounce. All right, so this is a pretty strong bounce. So I'm gonna wait till it creates a high here. That's gonna be my stop. Alright, so my stop's at 11. Full stop at 11:10. Yeah, Envis would have been a nice short. Sucks that it broke prematurely and didn't give us a setup. Alright, so two things can happen on CLOV. It's either going to create a higher low here and break this flag and go higher, or it's going to create a lower high like this and we'll get the 15-minute test. So if it bounces here, gives a lower high, I'm gonna add some more shorts. Alright, so 1092 is this low. Alright, so I might add a few here. Alright, I didn't get filled there. Alright, but that's the full 5-minute test. I think that's okay. Yeah. Alright, so that would have been a nice field. I tried hitting that 1092. Yep. It's done. Wow. So it would have worked out there. Like I mentioned, bounced on the 5-minute chart, fell flag, and then lower high here, cup and handle, inverted cup and handle, and that would have been the spot to add there. I missed it, or I tried adding there, didn't get filled. I went a little bit too quickly. I was a little bit distracted. But I have 200 shares originally, so let's see if I can get a 1060s. I'm just gonna be patient on this. I need to practice patience anyways, so let's see if we can get a 1060s. Alright, so it's looking pretty good. I'm gonna just take 100 shares. If it breaks below 1070s. So max, right now I think it should be stopping unless you want to hold until the it breaks the 15-minute chart, which is going to be later. But it's at 1050s, so definitely stop at 1050. That's where VWAP is at. I'll take a full stop there if you're still holding long. All right, so gonna grab 100 shares here. Alright, so I got filled there, 1072. So I think as long as it tops off around 1085, 83 level, I think we look good here. I have an order out at 1062s for my last 100 shares. So I'm just gonna put a order cancel order out 1063 and stop on 1085 and just call it a trade there. So whatever takes me out first. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, you should take take your trades depending on current data. Don't be hindsight biased. So I have a OCO order on Clove. Whatever hits my target first, I'm just take it off. I only have 100 shares, so I'm just gonna move on, see if there's anything else moving. Yusin actually recovered that 256 area that I mentioned. It looks like it could go higher. So it reclaimed 256 right here. I think that's probably a spot to buy, risking part of these lows. Except on the 15-minute chart, but that looks decent. Boxl looks like it's grinding. Oh, ATOS. ATOS looks ready for a short. Might take your now. 225. 218 target. So I'm taking this short. Stop at 229. On ATOS of 3,000 shares. I'm just scanning through it and then saw it real quick, so. Target is 217s. It's nice breakdown so far. Let's see if we could get continue down to 217. I don't like that move though. Let's see. I'll stick to my 229 stop. Might have to downsize though. Let's see what happens here. Don't particularly love that. Look pretty decent for that 225 break. Looks like there's some unusual buying power. So we need to stay below 225 for this to work. If it continues to consolidate here, I have to probably take it off for a loss. 5 minutes slowly creeping up or catching up, so it's at 219 now. So I have to take a 228 stop. Alright, so I'm gonna downsize. So this was a short trap. 225 break, reclaims, flags. So they might break 228 and go higher. So I'm gonna see what it does here. But I'm ready to stop at 228. Alright. I just took it off there. It's gonna move on. Yeah, this was a short trap. I'm all out. Good. I think it was a good trigger. I think it was worth a shot for the 220 test. Looks like it recovered. I think sometimes when it pop up like this, it might be due to news or some sort. We have like just random buyers that just buy on the news without looking at the chart, and then we get that unusual spikes like that. So it's still hard. But it does look like a fail flag. But yeah, BTX looks like it's trending higher. It's not ready yet. What was I trading? ATOS. So this might be a fail flag. I don't know. I might take another attempt at it if it breaks 225. Okay, so no break. Alright, so $60 loss there on ATOS. The 5 minute isn't extended anymore. All right, so it's getting late part of the day, and I have to sign off for my work. So thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. If you haven't done so and enjoying the content, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, thanks, Max and Daniel and Adelie. I'll see you guys later. All right, bye, guys.